Three Chinese luxury SUVs just went on sale in 2026. Not from the brands you have heard of, not at the prices you would expect. And when you see what is actually inside all three of them, you will understand why Range Rover, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz are facing a problem they have no answer to right now. We are talking about a flagship that seats 6 in a living room on wheels, crossed 40,000 pre-orders before launch, and then secured over 10,000 firm orders in under 1 hour once it went on sale, and starts at $42,500. A full-size 5-seater that put 50,000 pre-orders on the board before most people in Europe had even heard its name, and runs on the same Huawei intelligence stack found in China's best-selling luxury SUV, above 500,000 yuan for 2 consecutive years. And a flagship electric SUV that pulled 100,000 pre-sale orders in under 2 weeks, charges from 10 to 97% in 9 minutes, and starts at $35,500. A Range Rover Sport starts at over $90,000. A BMW X7 opens at over $100,000. These three start at a third of that. Stay until the end. Number 1 has a spec sheet that should not be possible at this price. Number 3, the Lynk Co 900. Most people outside China have never heard of Lynk Co. That is about to change. Lynk Co is a premium sub-brand now operating under the Zeekr Group, part of Geely Holding Group, the same industrial group that owns Volvo, controls Polestar, and holds a stake in Lotus. When Lynk Co says premium, there is nearly a century of Volvo engineering knowledge sitting behind that claim. The 900 launched in China in April 2025. By the time it was unveiled at the Shanghai Auto Show, it had accumulated over 40,000 pre-orders. Then, on the day it went on sale on April 28th, it secured over 10,000 firm orders in under 1 hour. It exceeded 5,000 monthly sales in its second month on the market. And in April 2026, a brand new 5-seat version joined the lineup with a limited time trade-in starting price of 254,800 yuan, $37,300 for a car with 872 horsepower. Let that number sit for a moment. 872 horsepower, the range-topping triple motor configuration. A BMW XM, which also produces around 650 horsepower, starts at $160,000 in the United States. The Lynk Co 900 does it for less than half that in its home market. The 900 is built on Geely's SPA Evo dedicated hybrid architecture, the same modular platform that underpins Volvo's performance lineup. It measures 5,240 millimeters in length, on a 3,160mm wheelbase, longer than the BMW X7 and marginally longer than the Mercedes-Benz GLS. But the number that kept making headlines at launch was not the horsepower figure. It was what happens inside when you park the car. The second row seats rotate up to 180 degrees to face each other. A 30-inch 6K integrated central display spans from the center to the passenger side of the dashboard. The rear entertainment screen matches it at 30 inches. The entire cabin reconfigures into what Lynk Co describes as a mobile living space, a direct escalation of the refrigerator, TV, and sofa formula that Li Auto made famous, now pushed further into genuinely cinematic territory. A 95-inch augmented reality head-up display runs up front. Dual Qualcomm Snapdragon 8295 chips power. The Flyme Auto 2 system. Rear-wheel steering sharpens agility at low speeds. Dual-chamber air suspension keeps it flat through corners. Combined hybrid range sits at 1,443 kilometers. And the price in China starts at 309,900 yuan, $42,500. A Range Rover equivalent in size and spec costs over 150,000. But if you thought the 900 was hard to explain to someone who only buys European, wait until you see what came next. Number 2. The Voya Taishan X8. Voya is the premium electric division of Dongfeng Motor Corporation, one of China's four major state-owned automakers. Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep, Peugeot, and Alfa Romeo, has signed a non-binding memorandum of understanding to establish a joint venture to bring Voya to Europe, with Stellantis holding a 51% stake and leading local sales and production. That partnership is currently moving into its implementation phase. But the Taishan X8 is the car that put Voya on the global radar in 2026. Pre-orders opened on April 22nd. 20,000 orders came in within the first 20 hours. 13 days later, that number was 40,000. By the time the car officially launched on May 22nd, pre-orders had crossed 50,000 units. And the customer profile that Voya published alongside those numbers was the detail that landed hardest. Over half of all Taishan X8 buyers were trading in vehicles from joint venture luxury brands, Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz. Over 90% chose the top-tier Ultra and Ultra Plus trims. These were not first-time EV buyers experimenting with a Chinese brand. These were established premium buyers making a deliberate switch. The Taishan X8 measures 5,200 millimeters in length on a 3,090 millimeter wheelbase, roughly comparable to a long wheelbase Range Rover. It is available in both plug-in hybrid and full battery electric configurations, with the BEV version carrying a 120 kilowatt-hour battery delivering up to 727 kilometers of CLTC range. The PHEV tops out at 657 horsepower combined and achieves a total range of 1,506 kilometers on a full tank and full charge. But the technology story is Huawei. The Taishan X8 is the first vehicle in the world to debut Huawei's HarmonySpace 5.2 cockpit system, the most advanced version of the software platform that has been powering the AITO M9. The top-selling luxury SUV in China above 500,000 yuan for 2 consecutive years. The launch vehicle for this system? Not a second-hand integration. The first. It runs on a dual 15.6-inch 2K screen setup with a brightness of 1,000 nits, both panels capable of operating completely independently of each other. A 55-inch augmented reality head-up display, a 21.4-inch 3K ceiling-mounted screen for rear passengers, a 29-speaker audio system, a 13-liter intelligent refrigerator built into the center console. The sensing suite is headlined by Huawei's 896-line dual optical path LiDAR, the highest specification production LiDAR unit available in any vehicle on the planet today. 3-chamber air suspension, 16-degree rear-wheel steering, crabwalk mode, a turning radius of 5.4 meters, smaller than many compact hatchbacks, 105 millimeters of total ride height adjustment. And the price starts at 292,900 yuan, $43,100. For a car with 896-line LiDAR, Huawei's most advanced cockpit system, and a 1,506-kilometer combined range. A comparably sized Range Rover with significantly less technology costs over $130,000 in Europe. None of these 3 cars are officially sold in Europe yet. Not one. Everything you just heard, the Lynk Co. 900, the Voya Taishan X8, none of it is sitting in a showroom west of China's borders. European buyers who want one have to import them privately, pay combined EU duties of up to 45% depending on brand and model, and navigate Chinese language infotainment software with no European map data. And yet 50,000 people in China pre-ordered the Taishan X8 before it even launched. But number 1 on this list is the one where the math stops making sense entirely. Number 1, the BYD Great Tang. BYD sold 4,550,000 vehicles in 2025, more than Toyota, more than Volkswagen, more than Ford and General Motors combined in China. When BYD builds a flagship SUV, the entire industry pays attention. The Great Tang, known in China as the Datang, is BYD's first ever D-segment flagship SUV under the Dynasty series, the flagship above the Tang. The car BYD has been building toward for 3 years. It officially launched on June 17, 2026. Pre-orders opened at the Beijing Auto Show on April 24th. 30,000 orders came in within the first 24 hours. By May 7th, less than 2 weeks after pre-orders opened, Lu Tian, general manager of BYD's Dynasty network, confirmed publicly that orders had exceeded 100,000 units before a single car had been officially priced, before a single delivery had happened. 100,000 orders for a car nobody had driven yet. The Great Tang is built on BYD's Super E platform, a full-domain 1,000-volt high-voltage architecture, the same fundamental electrical backbone that powers BYD's fastest charging technology in the world. The BEV version uses BYD's second-generation Blade battery, a 130.15 kilowatt-hour pack, delivering up to 950 kilometers of CLTC electric range on the long-range rear-wheel drive variant. That is the longest pure electric range of any production SUV on the planet, according to BYD. The all-wheel drive variant combines for 585 kilowatts, 784 horsepower, and accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.9 seconds. The charging system supports a 10C charging rate through BYD's flash charge network, taking the battery from 10 to 97% in 9 minutes. Not from 20 to 80, from 10 to 97. The interior runs a 2+2+3 7-seat layout, dual zero-gravity front seats, zero-gravity second-row seats with heating, ventilation, and massage, independent third-row seats with heating, a floating central infotainment display, a 17.3-inch ceiling-mounted screen for second-row passengers, a 27-speaker DVLA audio system, the same French acoustics brand that partners with Porsche on the Cayenne Turbo's premium audio, a 3-nanometer cockpit chip, roof-mounted LiDAR feeding BYD's God's Eye driver assistance system, dual-chamber air suspension with road preview, rear-wheel steering delivering a 5.2-meter turning radius. And the confirmed starting price, announced at official launch on June 17th, is 239,900 yuan. $35,500 for a full-size flagship electric SUV with 950 kilometers of range on the long-range variant. With a 27-speaker D-Violet sound system, with 1,000-volt flash charging, with roof-mounted LiDAR, $35,500. A Mercedes-Benz GLS with nothing close to this specification starts at over $110,000. A Cadillac Escalade, smaller in wheelbase, slower to charge, no LiDAR, starts at over $80,000. BYD just launched a car that undercuts both of them by $50,000 to $75,000, with more technology in every measurable category. None of these 3 cars are coming to European showrooms anytime soon. The Lynk Co. 900, the Voya Taishan X8, the BYD Great Tang, China only for now. European luxury buyers cannot walk into a dealer and order one. And BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Range Rover are counting on that window of geographic protection to hold. But Voya already has a Stellantis joint venture moving into implementation. Lynk Co. already sells 3 models in Europe, the 01, the 02, and the 08, now distributed through Volvo's retail network across 25 markets. BYD already has a dealer network across the continent and a factory in Hungary. The wall is not permanent, it is a deadline. The question is not whether these 3 cars are good enough for European buyers. The specs answered that. The question is how much longer that geographic wall holds before $35,000 buys you 950 kilometers of range, a 27-speaker DVLT system, and 1,000-volt flash charging in a London showroom. Which of these 3 would you actually put in your garage?